Your energy isn't what it used to be, and part of you feels like you're failing at being yourself. Your body speaks a different language now, and you're not sure how to listen. Maybe it's the way you feel heavy in the mornings when you used to spring out of bed, or how a full day of activities now requires 2 days of recovery. Perhaps it's looking in the mirror and seeing someone you don't quite recognize, even though the changes happened so gradually. There's a quiet panic that can set in when your body starts changing in ways you didn't expect or invite. And if you're someone who's always been action-oriented, always pushing forward, this new rhythm can feel like betrayal. But what I've learned after years of listening to people navigate this tender territory is this: your body isn't betraying you, it's teaching you a different way to manifest. And this isn't because you're doing anything wrong. What I've seen again and again is that we've been conditioned to believe manifestation requires the same energy at every stage of life. That if we can't maintain the pace we had at 30, we're somehow spiritually failing. This belief creates an invisible war within us. We try to force our changing bodies to perform like they used to, and when they can't, we interpret it as weakness rather than wisdom. Your body is not a machine that should run the same way for decades. It's a living ecosystem that's designed to evolve, to teach you different lessons at different phases of life. When your energy shifts, it's not a sign that your manifestation power is diminishing. It's a sign that your manifestation style is maturing. The universe doesn't require you to hustle your way to happiness. In fact, some of the most powerful manifestations happen when we learn to work with our body's natural rhythms rather than against them. If you're feeling this shift in your bones, you might gently acknowledge it by choosing a word that feels true for you right now. There's no need to explain. Just notice what wants to meet you in this moment. Let me tell you how this shows up in the body, because your body is always telling you the truth, even when your mind wants to argue with it. You might feel a heaviness in your chest when people talk about new beginnings or fresh starts. There's this sense that everyone else has energy you're supposed to have but don't. Maybe there's tension in your shoulders from trying to carry the expectations of who you used to be, or a tiredness in your bones that sleep doesn't seem to fix. Some mornings you wake up feeling like a stranger is living in your skin. The woman who could work all day and dance all night seems to have been replaced by someone who needs permission to rest. Your nervous system might feel more sensitive than it used to. Loud environments drain you faster. Conflict feels heavier. The recovery time from stress is longer. And here's what I want you to hear: there is nothing wrong with you. This sensitivity isn't a flaw to fix. It's information. Your body is telling you that it's ready for a different relationship with energy, with time, with the way you move through the world. What if this isn't your body failing you, but your body finally trusting you enough to show you what it actually needs? But here's the shadow and the gift of this experience, because every challenge carries both. The shadow is the story we tell ourselves about what it means when our bodies change. We might think, I'm not the person I used to be, or my best years are behind me, or I should be able to handle more than this. These thoughts create resistance to our natural evolution. We spend so much energy fighting our body's new rhythm that we have little left for actually living. The shadow also includes the grief, and it's important to acknowledge this grief because it's real. There is a mourning that happens when we realize our bodies can't do what they once did so effortlessly. But the gift is profound. This is the time when you learn to manifest from being rather than doing. When you discover that your presence, your wisdom, your refined energy can create just as powerfully as your action ever did. Your body's new sensitivity isn't weakness, it's discernment. You're becoming more selective about where you spend your energy because you finally understand how precious it is. This is when you learn the art of quality over quantity. When you realize that one deeply felt conversation can be more nourishing than 10 shallow interactions. Your changing body is teaching you to trust a different kind of power, not the power of force, but the power of alignment, not the power of doing more, but the power of being fully present for what matters most. So how do we shift from resistance to partnership with our changing bodies? How do we manifest from this new place of wisdom rather than trying to recreate our old patterns? Here are some gentle practices that can help you realign. Morning body check-in. Before getting out of bed, place your hands on your chest and ask your body, what do you need from me today? Listen for the first thing that comes up without judging it. Energy mapping. Keep a simple log for 1 week. Notice when your energy naturally peaks and when it naturally dips. Then start scheduling your most important activities during your peak times. Grief. Journaling. Write a letter to your younger body, acknowledging what you miss and expressing gratitude for how it served you. This isn't wallowing, it's honoring. Permission practice. Each morning, give yourself permission for one thing. Today, I give myself permission to move slowly, or today, I give myself permission to say no to things that drain me. Body appreciation. Ritual. Instead of criticizing what your body can't do, spend 2 minutes each day thanking it for what it can do. Thank your legs for carrying you. Thank your hands for their service. Thank your heart for never stopping. Redefining productivity. Make a list of all the ways you contribute to the world that don't require physical energy. Your listening ear, your wisdom, your presence, your love. These are not lesser contributions. Rest without guilt. Practice taking rest before you need it. This retrains your nervous system to trust that rest is available, which often naturally increases your available energy. As you try these practices, you might choose one word to anchor the experience. You don't need to do this perfectly. Even awareness is enough. Let me share something that might surprise you. The women I've worked with who embrace this transition often discover that their manifestation abilities don't diminish, they deepen. When you're no longer scattering your energy in all directions, when you're no longer trying to prove your worth through endless activity, something remarkable happens. Your intentions become more focused, your desires become more authentic, your connection to what truly matters becomes crystal clear. This is the time in your life when you stop asking for things you think you should want and start asking for things your soul actually craves. The difference in how the universe responds is profound. I've watched women in their 50s manifest dream homes, not because they hustled harder, but because they finally knew exactly what home meant to them. I've seen women in their 60s attract the love of their lives, not because they followed dating rules, but because they had learned to love themselves so fully that love could find them. Your body's slower rhythm teaches your mind to slow down too. And in that slower space, you can hear the whispers of your intuition that were always there, but drowned out by the noise of constant motion. This is sacred timing. Your body is preparing you for a kind of manifestation that's less about getting and more about receiving, less about forcing and more about allowing, less about becoming someone new and more about returning to who you've always been underneath all the doing. What I want you to understand is that your body's changes aren't holding you back from manifestation. They're teaching you a more sustainable, more wise way to create your life. The woman who honors her body's seasons, who works with her natural rhythms, who knows when to act and when to rest, she has access to a kind of power that the woman who was always pushing never knew. Your manifestations might look different now. Instead of forcing 10 things to happen, you might focus deeply on 2. Instead of networking at every event, you might have one meaningful conversation that changes everything. Instead of saying yes to everything, you might say yes to exactly what aligns. This isn't settling. This is refinement. This is the difference between throwing paint at a canvas and creating a masterpiece with intention. Your body is not your enemy in this process. Your body is your wisest counselor, teaching you to manifest from a place of deep knowing rather than desperate doing. If you notice even a small softening toward your body after this, you can come back and write softer. No story needed. That one word says enough. You don't need to fix yourself back to who you used to be. You're not supposed to be who you used to be. You're supposed to be who you are now, with all the wisdom your body has gathered along the way. Your changing body isn't a barrier to the life you want to create. It's the gateway to creating a life that actually fits who you've become. Every body tells a story. Every ache carries wisdom. Every limitation teaches discernment. Every change invites deeper self-love. Trust your body's timing, trust your body's wisdom, trust that this new relationship with energy is not a step backward, but a step into a more authentic, more sustainable way of being in the world. Your body has carried you this far. It's time to carry it forward with the love and respect it has always deserved. This content is for educational and spiritual reflection purposes only. It is not a substitute for medical, psychological, legal, or financial advice.